a lot of skills, they do pierce magic immunity. Against Unknown's lineup, I mean, you've got the hook shot and the RP, but other than that, Tiny and
you'll need BKB.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, the BKB is going to be great because
Yeah.
there isn't that much that's going to go through it.
Well, the RP, like you said, is the only thing, and a clockwork hook shot onto Luna is not the dream. You don't hook shot Luna if her ulti's off cooldown because you just die. And if you know she has a BKB, then there's even less reason, as we see both teams here vying for some positional advantage in the woods.
Indeed, and are they going to be able to find anything here? We see Luna heading closer and closer to the Tiny. They're just forcing old Nico back. But we're into the game. Let's introduce the teams. On the side of the Radiant, basically Unknown, we are going to have, oh Jesus, what is Insolent?
Insolent.
Insolent.
Yeah. Insolent. As
Insolent.
Yes.
On the Skyriff Maze, taking a few hits from the Luna. It's going to be Nico Baby on that Tiny in the safe lane. He's going to be backed up by Pure Evil itself on the Io. Mid lane will be Arise on his signature Magnus, and on the off lane it's going to be Mind Control on the Clockwork. I'm OD Pixel. I'm here with Draskell, and Draskell, give me a lowdown what's going on the side of the Dire.
Alright, so we got Dread. He's going to be handling this Queen of Pain. Towards middle lane, it's going to be Affininte playing the Storm, so they had a little bit of a role swap there. But Gorak, he's going to be playing on the Treant Protector. We're going to have Goddamn on the Disruptor, and of course that leaves their role 1 player, Artes, playing the Luna.
Okay, and we're seeing at the moment, Tree heading straight forward, is going to get a few hits from the Scarif Mage, tethered up by the Io. And I mean, talking about the lanes, talking about the 2 solo laners on the side of HellRaisers, and the fact that they've got the Queen of Pain in the safe lane and the Storm in the mid, is there a reason why they do it that way round rather than the other way round?
Yeah, because the matchup of Storm versus Clockwork is a lot worse. The Storm has to walk into melee range to use Remnant. So every time you would do that to go for CS and try to get some kind of lane push going, you would essentially put yourself at risk of getting hog spammed. And if that happens, the Clockwork can actually kill the Storm if you're playing recklessly. So you need to be very aware in that matchup. A Queen can just blink out even in the worst situation possible. So there's no way that that Queen should die. I like the fact that HR decided to make this switch in the first place and just go for a greedier composition. I feel like their picks in the early laning phase are going to be very difficult for basically Unknown to deal with.
Indeed, bottom lane, goddamn indeed, getting caught out by an avalanche. The right click and the arcane bolt's going to be enough for first blood. They're going to Insolent, and well, that's not what you want to happen in an aggressive tri lane.
I don't know why he was walking forward. That's the thing that kind of puzzles me. He has level 1 Thunderstrike, so the only reason he could possibly be walking forward is to try to harass, but Nico hadn't used any spells. So giving away a first blood in a lane that you should be winning on paper, that's really bad news. And as soon as that death happens, HR already have left to go for the bottom rune as the 2-minute spawns, but usually these lanes are decided in the first couple of levels. So if basically Unknown get another kill, suddenly the Tiny and the Skywrath are like level 2 or level 3. Then this lane becomes almost unwinnable for HR. They're supposed to have the advantage at level 1 and 2, but they've kind of squandered that already by just giving away a kill, so we'll see how it goes.
With the Luna in this aggressive position, in the aggressive tri lane, do you feel we'll see a point in the game where the Luna kind of hangs back and focuses on farming, or is this going to be a very, very aggressive kind of game for HellRaisers where they'll constantly look to be pushing and fighting?
The nice thing about their lineup is that even if their tri lane goes poorly, they have 2 cores that can be aggressive. Queen and Storm together, the potential for roaming is really high. So you can have the Queen TP bottom, blink throughout an ulti, go for a kill. Storm can essentially do the same thing. And again, both of those lanes should go reasonably well for HellRaisers. It's just really shocking to see that the tri lane, they actually lose the Disruptor when, in my opinion, there's no way they should have lost the hero the way that this lane matches up.
Indeed, well, the Pop Kinetic field down. It isn't going to catch the Skyrath. Nico Baby actually trying to go in, has enough mana for the Avalanche and the toss. Maybe they go for something here. Leech Seed onto the Io. Io's getting himself right out of there. Nico with the Avalanche onto 3. Artes getting fairly low. He's got enough mana for toss, but he will get taken down there from the punches from the tree. So now we're starting to see the strength of this aggressive tri lane in the sense that basically Unknown, they try to go for a kill, but they don't get away with it.
Kind of made a mistake going for the Luna, I feel. You don't have boots. Luna has boots. She's 380 movement speed. There is almost no way, even with tether speed, that a Tiny is going to be able to catch her. Like, it's just not fast enough. So going for the Disruptor is the right play, just because the Disruptor has the same amount of health as the Luna, but is 80 movement speed slower. You really want to go for the hero that's easier to catch in this lane. So Nico making a bit of a mistake there. He landed a nice double stun, but as soon as that happened, he should have just been happy with the fact that he didn't lose a hero. You know, he can just walk away from it. But Unfortunately for basically no, that was not the case.
Arise and HellRaisers having a little bit of a tiffle here by the top rune. Arise will find the bounty and we'll be able to back off. HellRaisers is going to be liquorless as he can't fill up his bottle. Bottom lane again. This two kind of tri-lanes against tri-lanes. Looking at the CS1. In fact, look at a glimpse. In fact, bringing the Skyriff back into the kinetic field. NicoBaby gets a nice avalanche onto 2. Goretz, he's got himself a haste rune coming in with the punches. Thunderstrike onto the Skyriff mage. He should be all right. HellRaisers won't find anything this time with the aggression. But looking at the CS so far for them, 16 CS on the Luna compared to the 11 on the Tiny. So even in this aggressive situation, the Luna's having the better time in terms of farm.
Just a difference of having a little bit more base damage on your supports and being ranged comparative to melee. This is the way the lane should be going. It's expected that this tri-lane of HR is going to be beating out basically unknowns. And even just getting that harass on the Skywrath, forcing him out of the lane, it gives more of an advantage to HR's tri-lane because it's just more time the Tiny's not able to freely contest the farm.
In lane, Arise and HellRaisers both getting fairly low. Then comes the bottle back for Arise, so he'll be able to top himself at 1-for-1 at the moment. The off-lane clock finding the levels and, not, to be fair, not finding too little CS. He's got about just over 15 at the moment. Bottom lane, there looks to be a bit of a fight into the jungle, and Scarab Mage will find the kill onto the tree, and Io and Tiny, though they are trapped in the kinetic field, Io will be popped. NicoBaby trying to chase down Artez. He has got the mana for the toss. In fact, there we go. Tossing forward the Scarab. Scarab hasn't got any mana to throw anything else out, and Artez will be able to get away. But really, concussive shot does come through, but the living armor will be more than enough to keep Artez in live. So it's a 1-for-1 trade. Luna getting forced out of the lane, though. Tiny will be able to remain in lane and continue to farm.
The big issue that basically Unknown are going to run into soon is HellRaisers is now level 6. The Queen is also level 6 and has treads, almost level 7. And the Clockwork is being zoned out so hard that he's only level 5. The level difference can be huge here because all it takes is one good rotation from HR and they're going to be able to kill almost every single person in that aggressive tri-lane coming out from their team. So you need to be very careful. Like, you need a lane ward, in my opinion. Oh, and they already have one down. Okay, so that's good. But there's going to be a glimpse here onto this.
Straight onto Io, and Io getting blown up again by this aggressive tri-lane. Nico throws an avalanche back, but it's not enough to save his little bally fellow. 3 for 2, and Io, I mean, at this point, what do you do with us at the side of base of the unknown? You're obviously having trouble finding anything from the bottom lane, but you can't really rotate with heroes like Io and Skywrath, can you?
You can. It's just that you need to smoke and you need to hope that you can get a nice RP. Arise can set it up by RPing for you and then you Ancient Seal on top of it. They can definitely kill the Storm. It's not a question of that. The only problem is if you're having an aggressive tri-lane and the supports leave, it becomes super obvious. Nice hookshot coming out here from Mind Control, but he doesn't have the mana to cog.
Yeah, might be in trouble now because Dread has got the ultimate available. He's got Blink again in 6 seconds. He's only got 1 stick charge though, so the mana is not going to be there for the full nuke combo. Will hang back and keep himself safe. Mid lane, we did see a movement from Disruption Trian in the river at the moment, now into the Radiant Jungle. Both the Tiny and Io hanging around by the pool camp. We see Scarif hanging around in the mid, looking for some kind of action, as you were saying, onto the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit actually looks for action straight onto Scarif and might be able to blow him up. Indeed he will. Does get caught out by the Ancient Seal and the RP. Can they find the return kill? HellRaisers, the living armor's helping him out. The Arise with the body blocks, but it might not matter. Arise getting fairly low. His Goddamn's coming in as well with the right clicks. Arise will find the kill onto the Storm. TP's out. Will they be able to bring him back? Yes, they will. They've got the glimpse, but he's got the bottle charges. Leech Seed is there. Goretz needs a couple of punches. Maybe Goretz loses life as well as Mind Control comes in with a rotation. Treant and Storm going down there. Very nice reaction from basically Unknown.
Arise with the sick plays. Just unfortunate that the glimpse came after he already got to the well because it filled his bottle and then he came back with a full bottle which was previously empty and managed to live through the damage output. And I'm not entirely sure, does level 1 Leech Seed even break bottle? I don't think it does.
I don't believe, no it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't in fact. I don't think the damage ticks through enough.
So he just gets to free bottle when he comes back. That's pretty legit actually. So
Blink Dagger 8 minutes in. Not bad against a Storm mid.
Well, it's expected that both of those heroes free farm because Storm isn't a hero who can bully Magnus out of lane, and he certainly can't get a solo kill, at least not that way. So I figured both of these heroes would get a lot of CS, but Arise is definitely winning now because he got that kill on HellRaisers, and even though he traded like a support for a core, obviously for basically no, that's better.
Top lane, we see the Queen of Pain continuing to farm. Bottom lane, the rest of her side of HellRaisers getting ready to push down onto the tier 1. In the tree line though, see 3 of them, but there they go. The Remnant's going to scout them out. Storm zipping straight in. Gretz is there as well. 4 heroes now reacting from basically unknown Gretz. Ancient sealed up. In comes the Arise with the Magnus Steward, bringing Gretz back into their side of the map. He'll be the first to fall in this fight. Io very, very low, trying to bottle up. Will not be enough. Does go down. It is a 1-for-1 trade so far. Is there going to be any more action happening? Quap coming in, Dread with the burst damage onto Nico. Gets Ancient sealed up straight away. Arise, he's bottled up. Is he going to think about going back into this one? I don't know. Artez has got the ultimate available. I'm just short of the mana to do so now, and will back up. But 1-for-1 trade overall. Mind Control continuing to find farm in the mid lane. Queen of Pain did have to react and TP down to the bottom. But that's going to give some space for the Treant on the top lane to find his level 6 and start to work towards that very, very late Aghanim Scepter that we will expect to see the Treant pick up.
Aghanims is going to be very annoying for basically Unknown. Having that vision, it's even more effective against the lineup that is looking for ganks all the time. So Arise is going to want his RP. You're going to have to be worrying about relocates. But if you always know where the Wisp and Tiny is, then you can just go and gank them directly, which is usually the best way to deal with that combo, because if you gank anyone else, you have to assume that the relocate can be coming, and then you have to fight 2 extra heroes. Even with a Disruptor, I still think it's the better play to just try to gank the Wisp and a Tiny. But here we go, middle lane. Gonna see a kill on the Io again, not really having a fantastic game.
Not at all. I believe was trying to find the level 6. What kind of level are we seeing on the Io at the moment? Is she still just at level 4? So yeah, tries to look for some solo XP in the mid lane, and it doesn't pay off. Alpha Ninja with the kill there. Arise returning to mid, has got the RP available. Clockwork is also in the nearby neighborhood. Hookshot online. Maybe they can use this combination of the ultimates to find another kill onto the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit playing it safe though, backs off into the jungle, and especially with Skyraf thinking about TPing in, but they realize that the Storm's backed off, and so Skyraf will cancel the TP. Mind Control with an Invis Ring, tracking down Afo Ninja. Maybe they could go for a kill here. Magnus Arise still farming in the mid lane. Looks like he doesn't want to try and commit. With the hook shot and RP lockdown, would that not be enough to kill the Storm?
I think you need more. Yeah. He has strength treads on a lot of the time when he's walking around, so the damage isn't there, but their damage is bottom.
Yeah, indeed.
Sure.
Straight away, Nico Baby and Pure Evil going in with the 1-2 combo. Static Storm does catch them out, brings them fairly low, but Pure Evil should be able to keep Nico Baby healthy with the bottle charges. And now the push onto the bottom lane in the jungle at the same time. Mind Control finds a solo kill onto the Storm, so I'm only guessing the Storm was zipping around the jungle camps, must have let himself get very low in terms of mana, and a solo kill for the Clockwork.
He had an Invisor and he just followed him around until FNJ had expended enough mana to where he felt comfortable trying to go in, and RP on bottom lane as well.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it earlier on the sofa. Early game, when you've got the RP online, using it for the solo kills.
And in the woods, Skork! There's just death everywhere.
Wow, Mind Control, he's having a great time in the dire jungle. I don't think he'll be heading back to the base anytime soon. Tread's picked up now, and after a lane against the Quap, which wasn't very nice, he's being rewarded in the form of kills. 3 kills and 1 assist, hasn't died a single time in this 12-minute game.
HR should still be the ones who are able to push their advantage, though. Like, their laning phase went reasonably well for them. The Clockwork was super underleveled comparative to what Dread had. His bottom FNJ going kind of all in here on the Tiny.
Okay, baby, fairly low. Alpha Ninja coming in, gets caught out by the Avalanche. Clockwork is here with the backup, and he comes straight in. Can he find the kill on Alpha Ninja? Alpha Ninja's out of mana, has a bottle charge or 2. Given topped up with the battery assault. Is this going to be another kill for Mind Control? No, it's not, because Tiny will find the final punch. But at this moment in time, Clockwork really making the plays for the side of basically Unknown.
They're getting outmaneuvered so hard. The thing with Clockwork is you always have to respect his solo kill potential. And he had been missing for ages, even before FNJ died. So I don't expect him to assume that the Clockwork has Invis, but the fact that they have been caught out so many times, isolated, when the Disruptor is either not around or trying to make something happen bottom, it's just kind of weird, because that playstyle is very common for Clockworks. Like, they always go in the woods and they hunt. They look for the solo kills because they realize HR are going to send the Treant or the Disruptor somewhere to get some EXP, so they can get their max level living armor and their overgrowth, for example, or they can get the Static Storm going. So Unknown are playing extremely well, and the Clockwork has been making a ton of space. Now the Wisp is also level 6, so they have relocate available. They still have a blink RP. It's still anyone's game at this point, but it's going to be all down to the initiation.
And talking about initiation, Dread blinking very aggressively forward, will find the Tiny, pops the ultimate. Nico Baby gets glimpsed back into the stack storm, but they already casted relocate, so he will be safe for the time being. Mind control coming in with the battery assault, they will lose the Scarif Mage. Alpha Ninja under the cover of Ancient Seal has the living armor charges, keeping him alive, will pop the Soul Ring and zips out of the cogs. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, maybe more. Mind control gets tossed forward towards Alpha Ninja. Goretz and Goddamn are there with the defense. Mind control getting seeded up by the Treant. Treant chasing them down. Avalanche will catch out Alpha Ninja with a toss. That should be a dead Storm Spirit. Dominating streak now for the Tiny. Mind control, he's tethered up. Hasn't got the hookshot available again, but does have battery assault if he wants to try and chase these guys down. Arise, got the RP, has the blink. Can he look for anything onto Goretz? And goddamn, doesn't want to try diving the tower as of yet. But again, another favorable bit of action for basically Unknown and another kill onto the Storm Spirit.
Getting hugely outplayed at every single fight. It's kind of crazy. FNJ is being super over-aggressive with how he uses his mana. He just goes in completely hard and uses like 80% of it to try to get a kill, and then goes, oh, well, I can't get this anymore, now I have to run. Or he commits for a support, which sometimes you want to do as middle lane. Gonna see an RP. Okay, he's dead. Yeah,
RP
later.
into the Mystic Flare, does get skewered out, but that's because Magnus wants to make sure that he finds the kill, and indeed he will. Killing spree now for the Magnus, 13-7. And I mean, we were talking about the favorable laning stage for HellRaisers, but basically Unknown, they're just turning the whole game on its head. Now, I think if we look at the net worth and the XP graph, we can expect to see a really big swing indeed. Yeah, for the most first 10 minutes, it was in favor of this side of HellRaisers. Goddamn though, in trouble. Nico Baby with the toss, he will get put under the cover of Nature's Guise, and goddamn will be able to back out of this. But still 13-7. I mean, what do HellRaisers do in a situation like this?
Their team relied so much on snowballing with the Storm and the Queen because they were going to win their lanes, or at the very least go even, and then they just start rotating to bottom, or they try to make solo kills happen, right? But the fact of the matter is, basically Unknown are playing way better. They're just finding the openings that they need, and because HR are playing from behind, Queen and Storm are terrible heroes from behind because you have to initiate and then you just die because the damage output on the side of Unknown is very high because the Skywrath is now level 6. I think he's even higher than that right now. I think, yeah, he's level 7. So he's got 3 points in Ancient Seal. No one on the side of HR is anywhere near BKB. So if I'm HR, I'm thinking plan B is try to delay the game. Maybe your Luna can get some decent farm and you try to fight when you have BKBs.
Yeah, mid lane arrives straight onto Alpha Ninja. The Ancient Seal will be there to follow up another kill onto this Storm Spirit. Storm is not having a great game. Tier 1 will go down in the mid lane to the side of basically Unknown. Fortification will be there to buy it sometime, but it looks like HellRaisers there in no position to try and defend this. They're trying to look for a little bit of their own aggression onto the bottom lane tier 1. But the fortification will come out and maybe basically Unknown can defend this. Yeah, TPM from Arise on the Magnus. Clockwork coming towards the lane from the river as well. Has got the hook shot off cooldown. Goretz and Dread playing it safe. Artez, a little bit on his own here. There's the hook shot. Artez, I don't know what the plan was here. He has got the ultimate, but I don't know if he's going to be able to turn this one around. No, he won't. And Luna, for most of the last 10 minutes, has been in the jungle farming, decides for some reason or whatever to come out and walk into that.
No idea what he was doing there, to be honest. If you look at the map, he didn't even have vision anywhere on that side of the map. All the vision right now from HR is either the top rune spot or the lane ward top. They have put wards there specifically to let that Luna farm. Yeah. And he just goes, it's fine, I'll just walk into all the heroes in the map are gone, no vision to high ground, it's no big deal. Obviously a very big mistake, but the overall game plan right now for HR should be stop dying. It's that simple. You cannot die anymore. The more you die, the less of a chance you have for your heroes like Queen and Storm to actually become useful, because right now neither one of them have really done much of anything. And I think the coordination right now in HR has just been a little off. Every single team fight, they just don't have quite enough in the tank to get through the fight, or not all the heroes they need are there, and RP on bottom.
Oh boy, they smoke up, close the gap. RP, Ancient Seal, that combination blowing up the Luna. 16-7, consistently, basically Unknown, coming out with the plays, and the HellRaisers, they just don't have an answer for it at this point.
They are still farming reasonably well on their 3 cores. But the Tiny has Aghanims, and this is in a lane where he wasn't supposed to be that successful. So you compare that to what Dread has. I mean, he's got a Eul's, which is okay to remove the silence of Skywrath, of course. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that the net worth difference is pretty staggering, considering the fact that this is a hero who should have had the hardest time in the game and has the highest net worth of anybody. And by the way, Empowered Tiny is terrifying.
is under attack.
Certainly is as well, with a nicely landed RP. That is going to be a team falling very, very quickly. Skyrim Mage, maybe this is going to be the first questionable play we've seen in a while from Basically Unknown, on his own here, and Dread blinks in. Storm joins the fun as well, using off the Ancient Seal. There's going to be relocating, but they into the Static Storm and Kinetic Field. Io will go down, Nico Baby in potentially a lot of trouble, will find the kill onto Dread, but may pay with his life. No, mind control, the hook shot, beautiful, will get glimpsed back, so won't be able to do anything more here. Rise has arrived on the Magnus to be able to clear up the Disruptor. Double kill for Nico Baby. What a hook shot from the Clockwork there to save the Tiny and allow him to get that double kill.
A couple of very nice plays from both teams, actually. Goddamn getting the Storm and the Static, or the Kinetic Field down before the relocate had even been there, so he understood exactly where they were coming in. And that's just the power of a Disruptor against that combo, but still, Nico Baby is huge. He's got 2,000 HP, Aghanim's treads, and like 3,000 gold almost is bottom. We're seeing some potential dive here, but I don't think they'll be able to do it. Oh,
Artez pops the ultimate onto the Blade Mail. Mind Control says thank you very much for the kill. Goretz throws down the leech seed, but he might be able to live through this one, Mind Control. I think he will. Goretz will not be as lucky. Clockwork walks out of there, and that's why you don't Lunar Ult Blade Mailed Clock. It doesn't really work out, does it, Drax?
Yeah, the fact that he has so much farm in comparison to the Luna. Normally, if the Clockwork is in a normal lane, if you have like two... Oh, ball in. Wisp, is he going to go down here?
Ooh, I think he might. He has not got relocated for 10 seconds. And that will be a kill there for Afo Ninja. But, I mean, it's funny we talk about Afo Ninja on the Storm and Artez on the Luna. We're talking about it on the sofa, how these two cores, they need to perform if they want to win. And it doesn't feel like they're performing this game.
I don't know. Afo Ninja, his decision-making has been a little bit weird to me. The way that he fully commits no matter what. Even if he knows that there's other heroes off the map missing, he still says, I want to go in for this kill, and I want to make sure that I get it, even at the cost of my own life. Which a lot of times on some heroes can be okay. But you have to realize he's only killing supports. Like, he hasn't killed a core, I think, this entire game. So you're trading your life for a hero who is worth less than you. And that can just become like a detrimental thing if you keep doing it. So, like, once or twice is fine, but I think every single time he's died, it's because he's committed for a support kill. So, it's just a little bit of a gameplay problem, I think, for him. But they have a chance to recover. There's no doubt about that. He's almost got his Orchid up, so he's about 500 away. If HR can kind of stem the bleeding for a while, get a couple of good kills on the board, they can easily turn the game. But it's just, their lineup is not supposed to be behind at this stage. It's supposed to be ahead.
Absolutely not. We see that, members are basically on a grouping up. They will do a 5-man smoke here. Rise, level 12, has got that RP available. 2.4k gold in the bank on top of the Blink Dagger. Side of HellRaisers, goddamn, he is out on his own. Do a little bit of dewarding. It's all very nice and dandy for the Disruptor. Till he maybe gets caught out here. There we go. Hook shot into Ancient Seal. Disruptor will go down. Magnus with the blink forward and the shockwave. Very nice to secure the kill. And what?
Jesus.
That's Shaquina Payne getting thrown up into the air and slapped in the backside by Nico Baby on the Tiny. Monster kill streak now. They'll look to take Roshanna with 2 heroes down on the side of HellRaisers. It's going to be very, very hard for them to even think about contesting this. Maybe they look for a cheeky little steal with the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit keeping himself out of harm's way. Indeed, they do have that Radiant Ward. Then, oh!
The biff. Don't worry, Rise. Nobody saw it. You're still like the best Magnus player. It's no big deal.
Yeah, it was a zoning RP, and it's done the job. I don't think Storm's going to look to steal the Aegis after that little bit of action.
No, they scared him pretty bad there. I mean, I would at least be terrified.
From that.
He's even got a Shadow Blade now, so he's got Blink Shadow Blade on the mag. He's level 13. Unknown, or basically unknown, like Arise and this Clockwork Mind Control have played completely out of their minds. The tri-lane went reasonably well, considering the circumstances. I don't think they were meant to win that lane, and they still ended up getting first blood, so all things considered, good news. They've just been kind of rolling the entire time. Ever since that Clockwork had a bit of a rough laning phase, he didn't let it affect him. He landed some really good hook shots, and he put his team in a fantastic position. Like, Mind Control for me has been pretty much the team's MVP of this game.
I mean, look at it, right? So the Shadow Blade, you're obviously quite far ahead. Is that the reason you pick it up, just to make the other team poorer in terms of the fact that they're going to have to buy detection?
The thing about Shadow Blade is that when you have really good control of the map and you're sieging tier 2s and such, it does make the other team buy detection. But the bigger thing is you can bypass wards without having to buy smoke. So if you try to gank somebody and it doesn't work, you kind of have a sense for where the ward could be placed. And the threat of a Shadow Blade on a lane, if they see it in your inventory, the enemy team automatically plays differently. because they have to assume that if you're off the map, you could be ganking somebody. And that's kind of a problem as this tier 3 is getting completely annihilated by Nico.
Gretz throwing the lead sheet down onto Nico Baby. They do have the overgrowth available as well, but there goes your tier 3. Tiny on the front lines, maybe looking for more. There's going to be a wraparound from Mappa Ninja, who has got a double damage, but the double damage isn't going to do anything when you're double dead. Arise with the skewer, finishing that off. And at the same time, IO and Tiny do get caught up by a static storm. They do find the kill, though, onto the tree. And Godlike double kill.
Jeez.
Now for Nico Baby.
So
There's your RP onto Artez. Artez is down. It's a full 5-man team wipe. 24 minutes in, they're onto the racks. Basically unknown. They came into this game as the technical underdogs, 25% I believe were the odds of them winning. But if they continue playing to this level, it's going to be very hard for HellRaisers to do anything against them this series.
The Clockwork did so much work. Arise had a great game as well, not taking anything away from him. He farmed great. He had that really sick glimpse play in middle lane where he realized that he got bottle charges. A lot of players probably would have missed that and just died. But he bottles up, gets a counter kill on the Storm that was pretty lane changing for him because that essentially secured his Blink Dagger. And then between the two of them, they just completely dismantled HellRaisers. There was nothing that they could do at any stage. And I think it was a really big mistake to be split up as much as HR were. Because if you try to fight early game against Clockwork and you're just split all over the map and you know that he gets a 1v1, even in the worst matchup, he will be 6 before any of your supports can do anything about him, which happened to be the case in this game. And he even gets a solo kill on the Storm as well in the woods because of the Invis rune. So the offlane in the mid, where HR is supposed to have the most success with their team, they got completely dominated. So, fantastic game from basically unknown. Very impressive.
Tiny is just ridiculously fun now. He's 25 minutes in. He's closing in on the recipe for his AC. On top of the Ags, Manta, and Treads. And of course, with the Aegis and just about, you just don't kill the guy. 10 kills has only been taken down once, but that was at the very, very start of the game. Tier 2 taking an insane amount of damage will go down. And I'm pretty sure, basically, I know they're ready to try and take it to the high ground again. Magnus hasn't got the RP available as of yet. How long until it's back available? 8 seconds, so they are good to go indeed. Magnus picking up the Oblivion Star for Rice, of course, working towards that refresh as well. And to the high ground they go. Nico Baby onto the tier 3s. What do they do? What can HellRaisers do to stop this? I mean, Goddamn is there, has got the Static Storm available. It's not going to do too much against this team, though, because the rest of the team are going to be there with the reaction. We see them positioning themselves on the high ground, ready to jump forward if any kind of aggression comes out from HellRaisers. They're just playing it cool, keeping themselves positioned so they're able to... Oh, here we go. Shadowblade from Arise on the Magnus. Is he going to look to sneak up to the high ground? There is no tier 3, so the chances are that I'm going to have anti-detection. Oh, and there's your RP onto 2. Goddamn, and Gorex getting brought back. Static Storm will get thrown down, but it doesn't matter. They've already lost the Disrupt to the tree. Tree will buy back. Luna doing a fair bit of damage here, bringing them low. Mind Control will go down. Drek gets used up, but he gets a shockwave through himself as he comes back down to the ground. Gorex did buy back. He's very low. Artez, negative Earn Shadow Charge, will send him packing back to base. Avalanche finds the kill. There's a triple kill for the Tiny. Make that an ultra kill. This could be a rampage as well. Let him get the rampage, lads. Come on, Nico Baby coming through with the rampage. What a way to finish the game. Potentially 26 minutes in. There's no... Well, anyway, Alpha Ninja trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky play here with the zip. He gets the final kill. No, it's not. Maybe game over yet. Oh, okay, it's a double rampage. That's the game over.
Triple? Triple?
Yeah! Triple rampage.
Okay, so it turns out Empowered Tiny with a Wisp does a terrifying amount of damage, for those of you who didn't know. He was hitting for 450 damage with an AC, a Manta, and an Aghanims at 27 minutes into the game.
It's just a combination of... Yeah, obviously they played very well, but I think it's still just down to the draft. The fact they let Tiny and IO get through, and they let Arise pick up the Magnus last in the draft. I mean, do you think